You're listening to Pombo and Peter's Picks, the home of your favorite sports betting podcast. Presented by The Daily Goat.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Pombo and Peter's Picks. I'm Jason Pombo, joined as always by Peter Alves. Peter, how we doing today?
Oh, pretty good. Week 2, the NFL, for probably both of us. It's pretty bad. Hope you didn't take any of our picks. Sorry in advance. But we survived the Survivor. I cheated my way into week 3. It's pretty good.
You know what? I remember, I don't know if it was either before we recorded last week or after, you were like, I feel great about this board. This week I'm going 5-0, this and that. I don't know if you said it on the podcast or before or after.
Oh, I definitely said it before.
But yeah, I think before. You were pretty confident, and I was sort of hesitant. I didn't love the board this week. I felt that there was some uncertainty. I felt that my picks were two heavy favorites, and I don't know. It just did not pan out for us. So as Peter kind of hinted, we were 1-9 combined.
Good job, Jay. Good job.
Yeah, I saved us with that one pick with the Packers. But however, we both survived our survivor picks, and I got my premium pick right. Peter got his premium pick wrong.
Down to 0-2.
0-2. You always suck with the damn premium picks, man.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad. Fade all those.
Fade all those. So that would bring our totals through week 2. So now what am I? I'm 5-5, and you're...
I'm 3-7.
7. Hey.
Hey.
Let's bounce back. Bounce back week 3. Bounce back. But let's talk a little bit about our picks.
Our competition. Are we going right to the Super Bowl, or are we stopping at regular season? Gotta pick up steam.
We'll go to the Super Bowl. Screw it. Yeah, you got
cool.
time. You got time. You're only 2 games back. I would be ideal if we both finished above 500, and I think we will.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the only pick that we got right was the Packers -10. That was my premium pick of the week and my survivor pick. The Packers, which the game we'll get into, they destroyed the Bears, but the Bears did have a shot for a backdoor cover. They just did not convert, so I got that one right. My pick's wrong. I had the Chiefs -4 against the Chargers. They did not cover by 1 point.
That was a backdoor, too.
I know, backdoor Chargers, last possession. Justin Herbert throwing with the freaking broken ribs. I had the Colts -4, and they got shut out by the Jaguars. We'll talk about that game. I had the Saints +3 at home against the Bucks. The Saints had every opportunity to win the game. They just did not close out in the fourth quarter. That was an L. Then I had the Bengals -7.5 against the Cowboys. The Bengals got killed in the first half. They made a run at it in the second half, but they were never able to take hold of the game. So yeah, 1-4 for me.
Oh, I mean, better than me. 0-5. We were alike on the Bengals -7.5. Steelers +1.5. I mean, it was pretty close, but obviously
that was a win-win scenario for you, Peter.
Yeah, it was. Vikings +1.5. Got blown out versus the Eagles. Nice. Ravens -3.5. Didn't show up in the second half. It's good. And Raiders -6. Gagged that away. Didn't show up in the second half either.
Yeah.
Good coach you got there, Josh McDaniels. 0-2, blowing 2 leads. 2 weeks in a row.
Not ideal for any of our picks or the Raiders.
But as we said, we got the survivor pick right. I got the Broncos. Barely.
Whew, I was sweating for you, Peter. I really was.
Barely.
I was sweating.
So, yeah.
Well, tell you what.
I promise you, I won't do worse this week.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we really can't do much worse. I don't believe we'll do worse.
Well, you can. You can go.
Yeah, that's true. I could go 0-5. But hopefully we don't. Yeah, week 2, not good. And as this NFL season continues on, it feels like we're still learning a lot about each team. I mean, honestly, you don't really get a good gauge on teams, in my opinion, until like week 4, week 5, because we've seen teams in week 1 do awesome, and then we see them get blown out in week 2, or vice versa, this and that. So it's kind of...
Yeah, Jacksonville last year.
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of like, kind of wait to see as the games pile up. But Peter, first game that I kind of wanted to break down for week 2 was the Chiefs and Chargers. That was last Thursday night's game. It was the first game on Amazon Prime. Did you enjoy the experience?
I did. It looked actually pretty crisp. Al Michaels and whatchamacallit. I know his name, but I don't know his name. He's they're actually pretty good together. I like that. And I mean, I don't like Jeff Bezos and Roger Goodell joking around in the stands, but I liked it overall. The pregame was nice. Is Tony Gonzalez did he ditch Fox
CBS
or
or was
whatever
he might have been Fox. He
or
must have.
whatever? Was that
Yeah,
just because it was the Chiefs?
yeah. I'm not entirely sure. That's a good question. Because I know there is some overlap because it's Amazon. Like Kirk
Yeah.
Herbstreit still does his ESPN stuff, and he also, of course, is the color guy now on Amazon for Thursday Night Football. But how would you grade it 1 through 10? Feels like you're thinking like a 9.
Yeah, I mean 8 or 9. The product was crisp, didn't lag out. It's pretty easy to stream. I thought
Yeah,
it was gonna like crap the bed with everybody just flooding in, but it was good.
I
Sucks
would
I
give.
gotta pay on top of what I pay for.
Yeah,
Well, I don't pay for cable, but like I pay for Amazon Prime anyways, but that's annoying. But
I would give a 7 out of 10. Like you said, I think overall, maybe the first drive or two was sort of weird with the camera angles, a little shaky. Um, and I think the audio maybe from Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit could get enhanced a little bit. It felt like there was little juice. I don't know. It felt like they need a little bit more there. But yeah, overall, solid product. And Al Michaels, whatever he's on, it's important in my opinion. He's the best there is, the GOAT, whatever you want to call him. So yeah, let's talk about the game itself. The Chiefs ended up beating the Chargers 27-24. Justin Herbert, he ended up getting hurt in this game due to a ribs injury. He was 33 of 48 for 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Mike Williams, he really picked up the guard, of course, with Keenan Allen being out. Mike Williams had 8 receptions for 113 yards and a touchdown. But the winning Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes was 24-35 for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce led the way, 5 catches for 51 yards. Peter, in my opinion, for this game, this was the best opportunity for the Chargers to beat the Chiefs, and they just couldn't. I felt like they outplayed them for a large portion of this game, and they just weren't able to win. That pick six, I think, ended up becoming the nail in the coffin for the Chargers, but I think this might have been the best opportunity for the Chargers to beat the Chiefs. If you're a Chargers fan or you're Brandon Staley, you still got to be kicking yourself.
yeah, this is what the Chargers do. I mean, they versus the Chiefs, they always play them close. Sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. Fourth quarter, they absolutely melt. I mean, it's a gutsy performance by Justin Herbert, as you said. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but I thought that was an ACL. They went to commercial like twice, 3 times. I thought he was like done, and then he came back in like 2 plays later, and I was like, holy crap. But I mean, yeah, I mean, gutsy performance by KC, and that'll probably be the deciding factor on the standings
Yeah, and
for
I know
tiebreakers and stuff.
you're one of those people that uh you're high in the Chargers. I believe you had them in the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
You weren't alone by any stretch of the imagination. It felt like a lot of people considered the Chargers to be the favorite in the AFC West and even to get to the Super Bowl. And just watching this game, in my opinion, still doesn't change. I still feels like the AFC West goes through Kansas City. I do feel like Kansas City's not going to play that bad next time around. And they still were able to win this game and they struggled. Mahomes offensively, he did not have his best stuff for most of the game, especially in the first half. It felt like the Chiefs were getting severely outplayed. And the Chargers, I know they had a couple injuries. I know Keenan Allen was, of course, out and Justin Herbert, of course, in the second half. But I felt like this game was served on a silver platter and they were not able to take advantage of it. And now the Chargers enter week 3 in a scenario in which they don't know the status of Justin Herbert. Now, Brandon Staley said he's day-to-day. We'll see his practice status as the week goes on, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But he is dealing with a ribs injury, and it is an injury that could linger. I don't think it's an injury that's going to hold him out, but I feel like it's going to be, they consider it a painful injury. I think it's an injury that Tony Romo kind of dealt with the Cowboys back in like 2014.
Do you see what he posted on Instagram?
Who?
Somebody posted, I think it was Tony Romo. He was like, if it's an AC joint, just like put a shot in it and tell him to go
Drew
back on
Brees.
the next.
Drew
Oh,
Brees.
Drew Brees. Yeah, it was Drew Brees. I was like, holy crap, bro. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
That was so random, like legitimately the most random post I've ever seen. Yeah. It was random, but I think Herbert is probably going to play Sunday against the Jaguars. I don't think we're going to see the Justin Herbert we're accustomed to seeing because I think it's going to painful injury. And Peter, here's some irony here. The doctor that punctured Tyrod Taylor's lungs is still the head doctor down for the Chargers, so he will be working with Herbert's ribs.
I think Tyrod Taylor won $5 million.
I think he did too. I think after that settlement, he did win some money. I can't believe he's still the doctor over there. I was so surprised when I read that story from Adam Schefter on ESPN.
Yeah, I would assume that he would have just got fired.
Or just kind of moved on, like a mutual resignation or whatever you want to call it. But that ended up not being the case. So, Chargers fall to 1-1, and the Chiefs moved to 2-0, and I still consider the Chiefs to be the favorite in the AFC West, and I have them winning the Super Bowl. Again, it's still so early for that, but I think this Chiefs team did what it had to do. Any closing thoughts for that game, Peter?
I mean, they'll see each other again. I don't know when they face each other, but it's always a classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chargers will be fine. They missed Keenan Allen over the middle a lot.
Yeah, they did. And I think they're going to need a little bit more production from somebody outside of like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Just that third option kind of help. I know Austin Eckler can help out of the backfield and that sort of thing, but they need a little bit more. Again, I still think the Chargers are a playoff team, or they're going to be right in the cusp of it, and I think the Chiefs are going to win the AFC West.
The Chiefs need somebody to step up other than Travis Kelce.
Yeah, they do. I thought it was going to be Juju Smith-Schuster, and it wasn't for this game. I thought Marquez Valdez-Scantling can do it. So I feel like it's going to be a game-by-game basis in which things pick up. Like, I think 1 week we're going to see a heavy usage of Travis Kelce. Next week it'll be a heavy usage of Juju Smith. Then it could be Hardman, and then it could be Valdez-Scantling. So I think it's going to be a mix. Some weeks maybe it'll be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't know. I think it's going to be a committee. So that's what's interesting about that Chiefs team. All right, Peter, let's move on to Sunday's slate. Also, fun fact, Peter. Fun fact for you. I am 0-2 on my Thursday picks. 0-2. Yeah,
Hope you're not picking a Thursday game.
Oh, I am. I noticed that, and I said, you know what? I got to break this curse. I got to break it.
Oh, nice. So bet the opposite.
Yeah, I guess so. Stay tuned for our picks for week 3 at the end of the show. Next game, Peter, I want to talk about was the Ravens-Dolphins. This was a game in the first half that was practically a snooze fest. The Ravens came out firing offensively. Lamar Jackson looked phenomenal. The score at halftime was 28-7. The Dolphins looked dead in the water. No pun intended. But things kind of shifted in the second half. The Dolphins outscored the Ravens 28-3 in the fourth quarter to win the game 42-38. The Dolphins moved to 2-0 on the year, and the Ravens fall to 1-1. This was a game that was hectic, chaotic in the fourth quarter. Tua obviously had his best game of his NFL career. He was 36 of 50 for 469 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill combined for 22 receptions, close to 300 yards receiving, and 4 touchdowns combined. Other side of things, Lamar Jackson, he looked like he was making a statement to the league in the first half. He was 21 of 29 for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had 119 yards in the ground and 1 touchdown. So look, Peter, a lot to unpack here in this game. It was a game of 2 halves, and the Dolphins come out on top.
So, you want me to crap on Tua, or do you want me to raise him up?
I feel like I'm probably in between, like his first half. All right, so do you think he is more his NFL ceiling? Is he more in the first half performance or second half performance?
First half for sure. All right, let's give credit where credit's due. Tua 8-1 versus Super Bowl winning coaches, 2-0 versus Lamar Jackson, 4-0 versus Belichick, 17-8 as a starter. So I mean, you can't deny those numbers, but it's pretty easy when you hit a receiver in stride in the middle, Waddle or Tyreek Hill, and they do the rest. I mean, 78 yards, 75 yards. He's not really doing much. He's just still missing throws over the middle. He's still overthrowing people. But I mean, you got to give Tua some credit.
Yeah.
Even if it pains me to do it. But
yeah, no, I think Tua does deserve some credit for this game. I can't believe the Ravens defensively in the second half. Like, I really couldn't fathom how bad they were playing defensively. They were giving all these Dolphin receivers free releases at the line of scrimmage, open field, no safety over the top. It was crazy. You could tell that Wink Martindale was not in the fold there anymore defensively for the Ravens. I think it's now Mike McDonald. I think he's the new defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. And it was a poor showing. I understand the Ravens defensively. They don't have the personnel they used to way back in the day, but this was unexcusable in absolutely every level. You know you're playing the Dolphins with electric pass catchers, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. You know what they can do yards after the catch. And the Ravens did nothing to really dispute that in the second half. I really couldn't believe it. that final drive from the Dolphins, the Ravens showed little to no resistance on anything. I couldn't believe it. I think this says a lot about the Ravens defense. I was very disappointed about them. And look, the Dolphins, they took what the defense gave them. Tua made the right reads, the right throws. He hit Tyreek Hill over the top on a number of different occasions. This is a big win for this Dolphins team. And this was a terrible loss for the Ravens. The Ravens are, I don't want to call it a dogfight in the AFC North, but they're going to be fighting for playoff seeding.
No, I don't think it's a dogfight. AFC North is real soft.
Maybe not the AFC North, but I'll call it the AFC as a whole, right? Fighting for a first round bye or whatever you want to call it in the AFC. And this was a game that they had to win. You cannot get outscored 28-3 in the fourth quarter. You just simply cannot do it. And I understand that the Ravens could have put up some points in the second half and they didn't, but look, you're up 28-7 at halftime. Your defense should be good enough to hold a 3-score lead, and at times 4-score lead. And I think that was my big takeaway from this game. Big win for the Dolphins. Absolutely a huge confidence booster for Tua and company, along with Mike McDaniels. But the Ravens defensively, not good, man. Not good at all. I just couldn't believe the coverages. That was the thing that was just blowing my mind. The Dolphins receivers, Peter, you could go rewatch it on replays. They were giving them like free releases. I couldn't believe it. No one within 7 yards after the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's why Tyreek Hill and Waddle burned them the whole time.
It was, and they didn't adjust. Like you would think that, okay, all right, it's a 28-21 game now. Maybe we should adjust a little bit, and the Ravens just did not. And I'm surprised. The Ravens are a team that usually flourishes with in-game adjustments. And that was not the case in this one, man. This was not. It was a poor showing.
And credit to Mike McDaniel. I mean, Coach of the Year, probably a heavy favorite.
Front runner, yeah. I don't know what the odds are.
Beating John Harbaugh.
Yeah, I don't know what the odds are, but he's got to be the front runner, I would think.
Yeah, probably.
All right, Peter. Yeah, you want to look it up while I tee off this next game?
Next one. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about another disappointing team in the AFC. Your Indianapolis Colts, Peter. The Colts, after nearly screwing you from the survivor pool last week, would have screwed you again this week if someone else picked them. The Jaguars shut out the Colts 24-0 at home. Trevor Lawrence, I think, had his best career game, 25 of 30 for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. James Robinson, who received over 60% of the snaps offensively, had 23 carries, 64 yards, and a touchdown to go along with 2 catches for 14 yards. The Jaguars looked great on both sides of the ball. Matt Ryan continued to struggle. 16-30, 190 yards, 195 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He was sacked 5 times. I know Michael Pittman was out. I know the rookie Pierce receiver was out. But there was no excuse for the Colts to be shut out in Jacksonville. Peter, through 2 games, the Colts are winless, and they've played the Texans and the Jaguars.
Who's their backup quarterback?
It is Sam Ehlinger, I believe. Yeah, I think it's Sam Ehlinger.
Start him. Maybe Matt Ryan is DON done. I mean, the Colts, their defense isn't even showing up. Their offense is terrible, nowhere to be seen. Frank Reich, if Matt Rule isn't the first one fired, you better hope that your seat doesn't get way too warm. I mean, as you said, Michael Pittman was out. I mean, that's a big loss. But Jonathan Taylor didn't even do anything in this game either. No. And it's the Jags defense. But on the other side, Trevor Lawrence, this is the best game that I've ever seen him play in his 2 years. Well, other than Clemson, but that's a count.
You know what I kind of thought about after I picked the Colts in our picks last week? I'm thinking in my head, it feels like Jacksonville is equivalent to like Miami for the Patriots. You know, like I feel like Indy can't do anything right in Jacksonville. It feels like it's in their head now. And this was an abysmal performance on all fronts. Matt Ryan, he has regressed. And I understand it's 2 games, but look, this is the Colts' fault, right? You can't go through three different quarterbacks in 3 years, all learning new systems and expect immediate production, because there is a learning curve, especially from Matt Ryan, who spent 14 years in Atlanta, right? That's a long time to go to a new setting and look for immediate success. And Matt Ryan, he hasn't had a winning record since 2017. So I think a lot of people see the name Matt Ryan and they think, oh, the Colts should be the favorite in the AFC South. They're a sneaky team, this and that. And I think that's far from the truth. The Colts, Peter, we've talked about it for 2 off seasons now. They need help. Offensive playmakers other than Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman. And they, for whatever reason, just neglect it.
Sign T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah. And we'll just wait for the T.Y. Hilton call for week 3. We know it's coming.
They're saving the cap space. I don't know what for. You got to pay Jonathan Taylor, but that shouldn't be that much.
Do you know who the
albeit
Colts? Do you know who the Colts leading receiver was in this game?
It wasn't even Paris Campbell. I have no idea.
It was Ashton Dolan, 4th-year receiver.
Ooh, congratulations, Ashton Kutcher. Congratulations.
Yes, Ashton Kutcher Dolan, whatever you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, the
5 catches, 79 yards.
Colts are ultimately done because that division is a absolute dumpster fire. I don't know if we'll get to the Titans-Bills game, but you can do that in 2 seconds. Titans are dead.
Yeah, Peter, why don't we hit on that really quick? The Bills beat the Titans on Monday Night Football, 41-7. For the first half, or maybe first quarter, I felt like we could have had a game on our hands. The Titans scored on a 4th down. Josh Allen turned the ball over, but this was not the case. It actually led to Ryan Tannehill getting benched late in the second half for Malik Willis.
I wouldn't say benched.
Removed.
They all quit.
Yeah, removed. Ryan Tannehill in the game, 11 of 20, 117 yards. He was intercepted twice. He had a QBR of 16.3. And Derrick Henry, after he had that really good performance against the Bills last year, he was held to 25 yards rushing on 13 carries. Josh Allen, he's the MVP favorite after 2 games, 26 of 38, 317 yards and 4 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, 12 catches, 148 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Bills look like an absolute machine after 2 weeks. I know it's only 2 weeks, but it's tough to really dispute what they were able to do through 2 weeks.
Yeah, good. I mean, their offense is explosive. No Gabe Davis. It doesn't even matter. Josh Allen's lighting the world on fire. There's a pause concern for the Bills' defense. A ton of people got hurt in that game.
They did. And the Bills also lost their starting center, too. So, again, it's tough to really poke holes in what the Bills were able to do. Feels like a lot of people are down on the Titans. They have been down on them. The Titans had every opportunity to beat the Giants last week. They blew that game. And this was a game they were expected to lose, but Mike Vrabel-led teams usually play some teams close. They usually stick in games, but this wasn't the case. The second half was an absolute bloodbath. Outscored 24-0 in the second half. Buffalo outscored the Titans. So really poor performance for the Tennessee Titans, and an AFC South that is completely up for grabs.
Yeah, go Jacksonville.
Yeah, so we talked about Jacksonville. They got the W. We talked about the Titans got the L. We talked about the Colts who got the L, and might as well talk about the last team in the AFC South. The Titans. Texans, after tying the Colts last week, fell to the Denver Broncos 16-9. Broncos ended up winning, improved to 1-1, and it's Texans aren't the story, in my opinion, for this game, Peter. The story is still how bad Nathaniel Hackett is, man. That guy, I'm telling you, Peter, he's in way over his head. Russell Wilson is struggling. He was 14-31 for 219 yards and a touchdown. This should have been a get-right game for the Broncos. The Broncos should have won this game 31-10. It should have been a get-right game, a game in which they kind of proved that, look, they can be a team in the AFC West that can actually make the playoffs. And after watching 2 games, Peter, I've realized that Nathaniel Hackett is in way over his head. The Broncos' offensive line is not good. Russell Wilson still is not good in the playbook. I'm sorry. The Broncos are not good right now. They're not.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting booed off the field, rightfully so. Jerry Jeudy got hurt. I mean, that's no excuse, but I mean, Nathaniel Hackett, 3rd and 1. You have Jonathan Williams right in the backfield. You run an RPO with Russell Wilson and trying to get a tight end. Don't understand that. He might be the first coach fired. I know it's his first year, but it's so embarrassing. It's so bad.
It's egregious. Like you said, Javonte Williams is somebody that is being underutilized. He only had 75 yards on 15 carries. I think he needs to get the ball a lot more. And Hackett, his clock management has still been awful. Taking delay game penalties, taking all these, like the play calls have been just so egregious to me. The Broncos didn't score a red zone touchdown for the first 7 quarters of the season, Peter. How does that make sense? I don't know. I'm not sold on this team. I think Nathaniel Hackett is I don't even want to call him overrated. Let's just call him overhyped, because I think he was a popular pick for Coach of the Year. He might have been the favorite.
Well, it made sense. I mean, Russell Wilson's coming there. I mean,
yeah,
their offense should be explosive. Russell Wilson's killing my fantasy team 1 week. Thanks a lot.
It's me too. I didn't even start him against you this week in the league. I started Derek Carr over him. It was the right decision, but
sorry.
Yeah, you gave me
sorry.
What'd you drop? 180 on me? 160?
190. I think Lamar Jackson put up 60. My bad.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, this Broncos team, I don't like where they're at. I think they're in a lot of trouble. And look, they're in a game. I'll read you the next 4 games, Peter, right? You can give me the little win-loss, win-loss. Home against the Niners.
No, it's good old Jimmy G. That's a loss.
Okay. Home at the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that one too. At the Raiders. See ya.
Home against the Colts.
No, that's an easy dub. Easy.
And then at the Chargers.
Oh, sorry. 1-3.
Oh, good luck, Nathaniel Hackett. I mean, realistically, what do you want to go in that 4-week stretch?
I mean, best case scenario, that's 2-2, right? You can beat the Raiders and beat the Niners, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's probably it. And again, if you're the Broncos, you're not in a good situation. But Peter, we just talked about the Niners. Let's pivot to them. And I think, look, the game itself, the Niners blew out the Seahawks 27-7. But the real story is Trey Lance. He broke his ankle, and I think he dislocated it.
Oh, it's not DK Metcalf's like one-handed grab.
Oh yeah, facts. Lance out for the season. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be get the reins for the remainder of the season for the 49ers. So, Peter, we spent a lot of the offseason talking about a potential Jimmy Garoppolo trade. It never came to fruition. Garoppolo ended up staying in San Francisco. We both said it was kind of awkward, kind of weird. And maybe the 49ers didn't necessarily trust Trey Lance. And here we are in a situation where Jimmy Garoppolo is now tasked to lead the San Francisco 49ers. Again. Crazy.
Yeah, good.
So
good. I mean, I like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a proven winner. He'll probably get hurt, but that's fine. I mean, good thing that they didn't trade him. I mean, I like my Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, you
NFC,
did pick the 49ers, right?
NFC bet. I mean, they'll be in the NFC Championship game. I like him right now better than Trey Lance does. Dave, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I feel like Trey Lance wasn't ready. But
all right, so I have 2 questions for you, Peter. One, if your situation comes to fruition, and let's say the 49ers not make the Super Bowl, let's say, I don't know, they win a playoff game, right? Let's say they're in the divisional round or maybe the NFC Championship. And Jimmy Garoppolo does what Jimmy Garoppolo does. You know, he does just enough, but he isn't able to really elevate over the top. Can the 49ers enter 2023 with Trey Lance as the starting quarterback?
I mean, I need to see how bad that ankle injury is. I know he had surgery. I know he's out for the year. He probably needs some rehab. I hear that's the same injury that Dak had a year ago.
Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're gonna re-sign. Is that his final year, right?
It is. But what if Garoppolo takes them to the playoffs and he looks good doing it? Garoppolo, look, I think the locker room likes Trey Lance a lot, but if it feels like Garoppolo's leadership is something the 49ers players are gravitated towards.
Listen, his win-loss record speaks for itself.
Yeah, and Kyle Shanahan's win-loss record without Jimmy Garoppolo also speaks for itself. And there was also an unsourced player that said that the team is better with Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm as opposed to Trey Lance. So what if the 49ers make a deep playoff push? Do you bring back Jimmy Garoppolo? Do you entertain a Trey Lance deal? What do you do? Or, in my opinion, in all likelihood, this probably enhances Jimmy Garoppolo's value, and they're probably going to enter the year with Trey Lance. But, Peter, Trey Lance will have a big year next year, man. He's been out of football for basically 3 years. He didn't really play his last year in college. He didn't really play last year, and he only played a game and a half this year. That's not a recipe for success for a young quarterback.
I agree.
I'm not ready to call him a bust or anything like that, but I think there is a cause for some concern. Like there has to be, right?
I mean, for sure. I mean, not to crap on the whatever year quarterback class because we have one of those, but
2021
class kind of looks.
Yeah,
bad.
It looks.
Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence, but that class kind of looks bad.
And Trevor Lawrence was coming off a victory, but you look at before this week, right? The Jaguars lost. The Patriots lost with Mac Jones.
I'm not just saying that. I mean, Justin Fields is sorry. His career is over if he stays with the Bears. Mac Jones is still not reading the defense. Yeah,
needs to be surrounded.
He's still throwing the safeties and cornerbacks right in the hands. Trey Lance isn't on the field.
And Zach Wilson's hurt.
Zach Wilson's doing Zach Wilson things.
Joe Flacco about to win the job. Let's start with the Jets. Right?
There you go. Yeah,
there we go. Segue to the Jets. So the Jets, they won, Peter. They won. Somehow they won. They beat the Cleveland Browns, a comeback from behind victory. They won 31-30. Led from Joe Flacco. He threw 4 touchdown passes, over 300 yards. Yeah, he looked awesome in the game. And Garrett Wilson, he looked great. That rookie receiver from Ohio State, 8 catches, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, Peter, what do you think about the Jets winning? Were you surprised?
I mean, yeah, obviously it's more on the Browns. Nick Chubb go down. That's not all on Nick Chubb though. I mean, they shouldn't have
The Browns should have been able to close. They should not have let
14
Joe
or whatever it
Flacco.
was. Yeah, I mean, it's Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco's an absolute bum.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
good for the Jets. Good for the Jets.
Yeah, seriously, like if you're the Browns, I still can't take them seriously without Deshaun Watson. I just can't. I
And
understand.
I mean, Jacoby Brissett's playing through an injury on top
Yeah,
of it. Like,
yeah.
holy crap.
Brissett's banged up. Exactly. And the Browns might have got away with a win last week against the Panthers after the kicker hit, what was a 55-yard kick or whatever. But they weren't able to escape this week. Jets get a comeback from behind victory. Other games of note here, Peter. Bucks of Saints, Bucks won 20-10. This was a game. The score did not really reflect how the game was played. The game was 3-3 through 3 quarters. Mike Evans was ejected and suspended for 1 game. Marcus Lattimore was ejected. Jameis Winston looked really shaky. Same thing with Tom Brady, who really has nobody to throw to right now.
Throwing tablets, throwing his helmet. I hate the Saints.
So, what do you think about? Do you think the Bucks? All right, I'll put it to you this way: what do you think about the Tampa Bay Bucks offense? Are you concerned about it? The offensive line stemmed another injury. Mike Evans is going to miss next week's game against the Packers. Godwin's out a month. Julio Jones looks like he's going to come back, but again, Julio Jones is an aging receiver. What do you think? They just signed Cole Beasley to the practice squad today.
Yeah, I mean, Gronk's going to come through that door for sure. But I don't know. I mean, Mike Evans is Mike Evans. Chris Godwin should fix him, I guess. Tom Brady would do his thing. Leonard Fournette looks bad too. I don't know if that's on his line though. But I mean, it'll be a long year, but their defense can carry them. Their defense is probably the best in the league. So
defense is really good. I do, like I said, Peter, before the season started, I have some real concerns about this Bucks team.
But you can worry about that in the playoffs.
They're 2-0. You know what? After they're 2-0 and Tom Brady has not looked like Tom Brady, whether it's his fault or not, the offensive line, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, do you see the ad for the Masked Singer?
I did. That was kind of funny. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he better not be on that.
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
They did that for that, but
yeah, I think it was a good marketing kind of put up for him. Other games of note here, Peter. Dan Campbell and the Lions get a win, 36-27. Lions ended up, what were they up, like 22-7 at halftime, whatever it was. They looked really good. Jared Goff looked really efficient. Ahmad St. Brown, 9 receptions, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Stud. So, yeah, what do you think about this Lions team? I know they're 1-1 now. It was a big win. They put up 36 points.
Yeah, they're a little frisky. I mean, week 1 even, they almost beat the Eagles. Good offense, decent defense, not expected much. On the other side, Commanders, Carson Wentz might have a resurgence 2 weeks in a row. Pretty good.
Yeah. Other things of note, my Las Vegas Raiders blew a huge 4th quarter lead to the Arizona Cardinals, which a team that I think is not very good. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are very good.
On the MW2 beta weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
On Kyler Murray, 2 hours of sleep. The Cardinals won the game 29-23. The Raiders were outscored between the 4th quarter and overtime. 23-0. I'm sorry, 22-0. And they just were not able to execute late in the game. Derek Carr still is not looking great, in my opinion. He needs to look better. Devontae Adams, I think, was only held to 2 receptions. Josh Jacobs was only held to 69 yards rushing on 19 carries. They can't run the ball. The defense melted in the second half. Kyler Murray had like 7 opportunities to score in that goal line play. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
And he did. In like the last one. So, and they end up losing from a Hunter Renfrow fumble. But no, it's not a good start from Josh McDaniels and the Raiders. Blown 2 4th quarter leads. Not good. Not good. And I don't think the Cardinals are very good. Even winning this game, I don't. I really don't think they're a good team. I think they kind of lucked into this.
They got exposed again. Their defense.
I don't think they're a good team.
Non-existent. I mean, they need Hopkins and Hollywood Brown to come back.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're a very good team. Other notes, Peter, our Patriots won 17-14 over the Steelers. A relatively low-scoring game. Offense did look better. I think it did.
Thanks, Gunner. That's the
Offense looked
win.
better. Nelson Aguilar, 6 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown.
Glad Kendrick Bourne's back on the field though.
Yeah, Bourne played 21 snaps. Mac Jones, 21 of 35, 252 yards, and a touchdown. Peter, one thing to say about this game is it time to bench Mitch Trubisky.
Not this week because they're on a short week.
Yeah,
But
not this week,
yeah.
but I think it is coming.
For sure.
Look, the Steelers offensively looked really bad. I know we kind of crapped on the Patriots last week offensively. Man, the Steelers look, I think, 3 times worse. I don't think they look good at all offensively. I think the Patriots defense looks pretty efficient too. I'm very curious to see them take on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Other games, what did I miss?
See,
Vikings, Eagles.
3 seconds. Eagles, good. Vikings, melted. Dalvin Cook, nowhere to be found. Justin Jefferson, nowhere to be found. I think that's more on Kirk Cousins. Maybe an off week. I don't know.
Someone else it's on. Irv Smith. He had a touchdown pass, just completely dropped it. That could have changed the complexity of the game a little bit. Also, I have no idea why Kirk Cousins was throwing the ball with Darius Slay. Like, dude, stop. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
He's throwing a pick every time you throw it his way. That was bad. You can't do that, man. Absolutely can't. And Peter, one more. Actually, 2 more here. Quick. Rams beat the Falcons 31-27. The Falcons were down 28-3 in this game. They almost came back, but the comeback was stopped short. Rams, they got their first win of the year. Stafford, 27 of 36, 272 yards and 3 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp did what Cooper Kupp does, caught 2 touchdown passes for 108 yards and 11 catches.
2 almost comebacks 2 weeks in a row versus the Falcons. Can't get it done.
They covered.
I mean, that's the Falcons. They covered 2 weeks in a row. Marcus Mariota, maybe a comeback player of the year. I mean, Matthew Stafford, he still looks pretty bad.
Shaky. And they still kind of need to figure out what's going on in the backfield between Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. They kind
I
of
don't think Cam Akers is healthy. That's why.
Yeah, that could be it too. Maybe he came back last year too early from that Achilles injury. That could be it. And last but not least, Peter, we talked about it a little bit. The Cowboys beat the Bengals 20-17. This was a game the Bengals should have won, man. That's bad.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
oh my God.
Before you get it, I mean, we can get into it. I mean, the Bengals, if you don't want to block Micah Parsons, that's what you get. Jeff Burrow on the ground again, 7, 8 times, or 6, 7, 8 times. That old line looks terrible. I don't know if it's because of the offseason or whatever. Joe Burrow is going to get killed again.
And I think
they didn't learn anything from last year. The Super
Awful.
Bowl, nothing.
Super Bowl hangover is Zach Taylor adjusted. He never adjusted in this game. I couldn't believe it. The offensive line, they spent a good amount of draft capital and money on it, and it hasn't gelled together, which is a huge cause of concern. Peter, if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, right, you're 0-2. You've lost to Cooper Rush and Mitch Trubisky. How does that even work? Losing to Cooper Rush and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I know. I mean, their schedule doesn't even get easier. They still got to face all of their AFC North. That team is
Peter,
bad.
I'll read you their next 4 games, right? I don't want to call it that difficult, but they're at the Jets.
Should be a win, but
I think so too. Home against the Dolphins.
Oh, sorry.
At Baltimore.
Sorry.
At the Saints.
Oh, that D line is really good.
So I think if they can go 2-2 in that stretch, I think they'll be okay. I think the AFC North, again, they have an opportunity, especially with Pittsburgh kind of floundering, Cleveland dealing with Jacoby Brissett, and Baltimore missed a key opportunity. I'll tell you what, that was a huge win for Miami to beat Baltimore in terms of Cincinnati, right? Because now it's not a 2-game division deficit. Now it's only 1 game. So yeah, I'm this Bengals team, man. I just couldn't fathom. I thought that was a lock. I really did. I thought that they would have a much convincing victory, and they just weren't. I also think it's a little bit on Joe Burrow too. He's got to get rid of the ball quicker. And I think
listen, I don't know. He's getting no time back.
No, there for most of it, yeah, but there was some times, at least a couple, where he should have got rid of it. I think now it's in his head, and that's not what you want from your franchise quarterback, fresh off a Super Bowl appearance. All right, Peter.
Two more things. Is Cooper Rush better than Dak Prescott? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that. And to bring our conversation back, Mike McDaniel is the favorite at +600. Next is Nick Sirianni +700, Kevin O'Connell +800, Brandon Staley +1,000.
Can I get Nathaniel Hackett's outs?
He's probably off the board. To be honest, he's probably.
So he's not even in the top 5 anymore, huh?
Oh no!
Wow. After 2 games, he's not even in the top 5. After I think he was number 1.
Nathaniel Hackett +7,500.
That's crazy.
Last coach on the thing above Behind Matt Rule plus 6,500. Cliff
That's
Kingsbury plus
crazy.
5,000. Mike McCarthy plus 5,000. Oof.
That's absurd to me. All right, Peter. Any other week 2 takeaways?
That's
We're gonna
about
do
it.
better this week. We're gonna do better for our picks this week. That's my takeaway. Also, if I had to put it in 3 takeaways, sort of thing, I would say the Ravens defense, man, L. Bengals offensive line, L. What else am I gonna give an L to? Oh, Nathaniel Hackett. He deserves the L.
Yeah, I mean, just the Steelers L. Thanks, Josh McDaniels. Still screws me even though you're not on the Patriots. And good job, Jalen Hurts. Might win MVP if Josh.
I tell you what, Peter. I think through 2 weeks, so take it with a grain of salt. The Eagles have been the best team in the NFC.
For sure.
So again, so far. Now, could that change this week? Probably. All right, Peter, let's get into our picks. You want to begin?
Let's do it. All right, we'll do Survivor first. Survivor, Chiefs over the Colts. Colts going 0-3. See ya.
Boom. Peter is betting against the Colts, and you're on the Chiefs bandwagon this week. I like it. My Survivor pick is going to be the Rams. I don't like picking road teams in Survivor, but I'm going to reluctantly do it because I don't know the health status of Justin Herbert. And there's a lot of question marks on this board. There's a lot of road teams, but I'm going to take the Rams over the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams kicked the crap out of the Cardinals in the playoffs last year and in the regular season, and I expect that to happen again. I'm going to go with the Rams.
And I'll start with that. Chargers -7. I don't care if Justin Herbert's in out. They should not demolish the Jags, but demolish the Jags.
They should cover. Yeah, I was looking at that one too. All right, Peter, I'm 0-2 on Thursday Night Football, Peter, and I'm going to change that this week. I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick the Steelers plus 4.5 against the Browns. I know the Steelers are going to be at Cleveland, but look, they won 2 games last year against the Browns. Jacoby Brissett is banged up. The Browns are coming off a really bad loss against the Jets, and I think the Steelers can do enough to cover in this game. I'm not sure if they're going to win, but I think they can make it a field goal game. I think there's some good value after the Steelers looked really poor against the Patriots offensively. I like this bet a lot. Plus 4.5 Steelers.
Welcome to the show, Kenny Pickett. Thank you. All right, next pick, Ravens -3, running it back versus the Patriots. So it's a win-win. The Patriots, I don't think they can cover anybody.
Is this going to be your theme? It's going to be a win-win each week?
No, no. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, be honest. You're going to the game. That's good for my bet. I don't think they can cover Lamar Jackson. I don't think they can cover Mark Andrews.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. The last time, do you remember the last time the Patriots played the Ravens?
No.
Okay, so I'll take you back in the time machine. It was in the 2020 season. The Patriots actually won. It was Sunday Night Football. That was the game that Jacoby Brissett threw a touchdown pass.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that was that time. So the Patriots are 1-1 against Lamar Jackson. So we shall see if how week 3 goes. My next pick, I'm going to go with the Texans plus 2.5 against the Bears. This is a crap game. This is a game like they tell you to not bet on because it's a crap game, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think the Texans can cover in this game. They've been in 2 close games, and I think they can do so against the Bears, who are still struggling to find an identity offensively. Justin Fields threw the ball like 9 times against the Packers, and that was not a recipe for success. I think the Texans can do enough to keep it close. I like the Texans plus 2.5. I think they might win this game outright.
And Cole Kmet, you're dead to me. You're on my fantasy team. 2 goose eggs. Thank you.
I could have told you he was dead to you, man. I could have told you that.
Hey, listen, they have nobody in that team.
Yeah, they do.
Anyways, I have Falcons plus 2 running it back. They're going to cover 3 times in a row. I forgot who they're facing. It doesn't even matter, to be honest.
They are.
I like Marcus Mariota. I think you might win comeback player of the year.
They are Seattle. Yeah, they're at Seattle. At Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, Geno Smith. I don't know if he's the answer. I mean, they don't expect him to be the answer. I like Falcons plus 2 on the road.
I feel like we were higher on this podcast than the Falcons than a lot of other people.
Oh, for sure. And you had them winning like 9 games or something.
No, I did not. I had them winning like 6.
No, you had them
7.
over.
No, what was the total? 6.5. Yeah, they won 7.
You had them win the Super Bowl.
Fake news here. I had them winning 7 games. And look, they could have won both of these games. They're 0-2, and I feel like they've been close. They might win here at week 3. My third pick, it's going to be my premium pick of the week and my survivor pick. I like the Rams to cover -3.5 against the Cardinals. I still am not a believer in this Cardinals team. I know they're at home. I know they're coming off a nice win against the Raiders, but the Rams, they're well coached. It felt like they got a lot of things together offensively. Not great, but I feel like it's a little bit better. And I think they have the Cardinals number. They really depantsed Kyler Murray in that wild card game last year, and I think they're going to do the same thing. I like the Rams here minus 3.5.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Fourth pick. If you had to guess, what is the Packers, Bucks, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers over under? If you haven't looked at it.
It should be, I'll tell you what, I did look at it, but it should be, you would think, between 48 and 50.
It is 41.5, and I'm picking the under. I mean, Tom Brady has no one to throw to, and Aaron Rodgers only has Aaron Jones. Alan Lazard is a good player. He good to come back. I think the Bucks will keep Aaron Rodgers in check. I think it's going to be a bad. I assume that's Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
It is not. It is not. I believe it is not.
Oh, it is not. No, it's not.
It's
49ers
Fox's game of the
Broncos.
week.
Okay. Well, that's beside the point. I like the under. I'll be a
Yeah.
square.
Wow. Can you imagine if that's not, if Peter, if you're wrong, like if you're right on that, oh my gosh. If it's like a 20-7 game between Rodgers and Brady, wow. Talk about hell freezing over. My next one, I'm going to go with the Eagles minus 6.5 against the Commanders. I know we talked about a lot how you should avoid these like in division, like road teams, but I'm going to go against my own rule and I'm going to do it. I liked the Eagles last week against the Vikings. I think they played extremely well. I'm not a believer in the Commanders. I know Carson Wentz put up some nice numbers, but I'm just not a believer on that team, specifically the defense. I think that defense is a really bad defense. I think Hurts and the Eagles are going to put up 30 points offensively, and I think they're going to cover in this game minus 6.5 of the Eagles. They're going to improve to 3-0.
NFC favorites, and that's a good bet going along. Last pick, premium pick of the week, Chiefs. We're doing all your strategy. We're just picking in your survivor team, and it's usually worked out for you.
Yeah.
I mean, Chiefs should win like 42-10.
They should. Hypothetically, they should. My last one, I'm going to go with the 49ers minus 1.5 against the Broncos on Sunday Night Football. I'm excited for this game for some reason. Like, I feel like this game has a lot of, look, Nathaniel Hackett is back on the front stage. It's in Denver, and now Jimmy Garoppolo is in the fold. I think there's a lot of storylines for this game, and I like the 49ers. I think they're going to run all over them, and I think Nathaniel Hackett's going to get exposed again. 49ers plus 1.5. Yeah, so those are our picks, Peter.
Hopefully you do better than last time, and cheers for the graphic this week, Jason. If people hate it, it's Jason's fault. If people love it, Matt, you're really fired this time.
Yeah, also shout out to the people that took part of our Twitter poll that decided Peter's fate a couple weeks ago. I forgot to shout them out. So shout out to those guys that participated in the poll.
I'm going to win. Fakely. But yeah, let's ride. Let's stay hot. Go Patriots. Good luck.